This is CBC Winnipeg News.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. If you've driven along the Disraeli freeway or live in the area, you've likely noticed a large encampment, tents filled with vulnerable people who say housing options for them are limited. But those who work in the area say encampments attract other issues, including illegal activity, which has one longtime organization considering relocating. CBC's Cameron McLean reports.
One of my brothers, he lives by the river, and he made me these. Look.
Maxine Wood has been homeless for about 4 years and staying in this encampment for about 2 months.
Even if we try to get a home, we can't. It's so hard.
More than 20 people are living here, including Lisa Gott, who has been homeless for 12 years. Lisa, how long have you been in this camp?
For about the beginning of summer.
Homeless encampments regularly appear in this spot near the Disraeli Bridge. It's in a place next to the Manitoba Métis Federation building and several homeless shelters. And it's in an area where the province has teams going around trying to move people out of camps and into housing. So far, Wood says no one has offered them a place.
We need housing, we need help like we do. It hurts my heart to even say that, but we do. It's so sad to see these people like that.
Premier Wab Kinu's senior advisor on homelessness says outreach teams are visiting the camps and trying to build up the supply of housing.
It takes time to rebuild housing. We lost a lot under the last provincial government. It took them seconds to sell off. It's taking us time to rebuild. So we're making those investments and working as quickly as possible to move people from encampments into housing.
Police say they are investigating reports of a bicycle chop shop in the area. Since January, outreach teams have moved 45 people who are living in encampments into housing. Across the street from the Disraeli encampments is the Osserodok Ukrainian Cultural and Educational Center. Executive Director Brad Solon says the organization has had to ask people camping on its property to leave. They've been in this building since the 1970s, but now they're considering relocating.
I think there has been, considerable conversation over the last decade for sure to seeing how the safety in the area has gone. But there has been a lot of pride in this area too, because the organization has been here for so long.
Blakey Whitecloud says people can call 211 for information about health and social services, and 311 if there are concerns about safety or potential illegal activity. If someone is in imminent danger, she says they should call 911. Cameron McLean, CBC News, Winnipeg.
From still smoldering hotspots and row after row of scorched trees to untouched areas in full summer bloom. It was a difficult sight for many Manitobans returning home after weeks of not knowing what to expect. In the southern part of Nopaming Provincial Park, evacuation orders have been lifted, but the emotions are heavy for those going back. CBC's Felicia Adam was in the area with evacuees today.
A long-awaited return. Martin Enns is opening the doors to his cottage after more than 5 weeks.
Oh, it's not too bad.
An out-of-control wildfire in Nopaming Provincial Park forced a mandatory evacuation on May 13th. As of Wednesday, Booster, Bird, Flanders, and Davidson Lakes in the southern part of the park reopened.
To be right in front of it again? Oh, thank you.
Enns built his cabin with his wife 44 years ago. It's a second home with lifelong memories. He's grateful it's still standing.
I really didn't know at one point whether they could stop the fire or not. It's just so powerful. It's huge. And from the map that I was looking at, it's 90% of the park is burned. So how do you stop a monster like that?
Cottages and homes in the southern part of the park were saved from the wildfire, but what remains of burnt trees, ashes, and a sign that once welcomed people into the park shows just how close flames got. Keep an eye on the 4 reopened areas. As the wildfire in the provincial park grew larger, now at over 218,000 hectares, according to Manitoba Wildfire Service, they remained untouched.
We were just really super happy that we didn't burn, and everything's good.
Nancy Krebs and her husband came back home to Bird Lake on Wednesday. Now when she looks at the lake, she's reminded of how close the fire was and the firefighters that saved her home.
Oh, I think I didn't see them, but we were very thankful and think they are amazing people. They're brave.
For now, they're tidying up their yard and cleaning out their fridges, getting their home back to the way they left it more than a month ago, knowing their community will soon bounce back, hopeful for the future. Felicia Adam, CBC News, Nopaming Provincial Park.
Now, one big question with this early fire season is, could Manitoba have been better prepared? 2 years ago, the province's wildfire service flagged urgent issues to the incoming NDP government, saying it needed to be externally reviewed. But the government chose a different path. CBC's Bartley Kivas has more.
This wildfire season has been the most severe in Manitoba in recent memory. Close to 2% of the province's landmass is burned, claiming 2 lives and displacing more than 22,000 people. As the threat begins to ease, attention's turning to what the province could have done better, including this 2023 note to the incoming NDP government flagging an urgent need for an external review of wildfire preparedness. The note said the Wildfire Service wanted to hire a consultant to review how prepared it was to respond to the next wildfire season, detect wildfires, and make tactical decisions. It also called for a forensic examination of the 2023 wildfire season and to determine whether the service had the right information, systems, and training to prepare for wildfires. The province says it never hired that consultant. Instead, it opted to conduct internal assessments over the past 2 years.
We know our situation well, and we're really well positioned to be able to do an assessment and implement any recommendations that would come out of that. So although a consultant was one of the options, it wasn't certainly the only option to get that work done.
Kristen Hayward says the assessments have led to improvements that include training staff earlier in the season and getting airplanes ready to fly sooner. Manitoba's infrastructure minister says the wildfire response has improved.
I just want to be very clear that this is a more coordinated and strategic effort than we've ever seen in the province in response to one of the worst wildfire season that we've ever had.
The leader of Manitoba's official opposition remains skeptical.
The NDP chose not to take action on this report. That report could have reduced what's happening today, could have had people better prepared, could have advised the government, the NDP, on how to better handle fires.
This wildfire service note in 2023 also included recommendations to the government, but that information was redacted, which is customary for advice to government. Bartley Kivas, CBC News, Winnipeg.
A group of Clear Lake cottagers and business owners are launching legal action this week. In May, Parks Canada decided for a second summer to ban motorized boats. It says it's to protect the health of the water. Invasive zebra mussels were first detected there in late 2023. The Fairness for Clear Lake Coalition wants a judge to declare the measure invalid or unlawful. Kayaks, canoes, and inflatables can still be used, albeit with rules like requiring a permit. Parks Canada has not responded to a request by CBC. Students at Meadows West School will soon have a new outdoor classroom. It's been in the works for some time to help encourage students to explore and experience nature. The principal says the center of the space will have a stone turtle representing Turtle Island as part of Indigenous education. It will also have traditional plantings, representations of the 4 directions and the 7 teachings. He says it's not just for students at Meadow West.
The whole community can come and use this space in many different ways. And I think that's the exciting part, is that it's a gathering for us all, and we can learn so much just from being together with each other.
And construction expected to be done by the end of August and ready for classes by the end of September. Let's bring in weather specialist Riley Laychuk. And Riley, a number of colors behind you there, never a good sign.
Yeah, tornado watches in place on the Manitoba side of the border for the Parkland onto the western side of the province, west of Brandon, but south into southeastern Saskatchewan, we have this tornado warning in place. And this is what I want you to watch here. So this particular cell that just moved through Oxbow, Saskatchewan, and you can kind of see the hook and the rotation on that. That has prompted that tornado warning for that side of the border. This is all pushing southeast. Not to say that Melita won't get some of this rain and some of the lightning associated with this as we get into the next couple of hours here, but certainly looking at a pretty volatile situation on the Saskatchewan side of the border, and we will see some of that spilling over into Manitoba as we get into the evening hours, hence why that tornado watch is in place. Also seeing some rain moving through the Dauphin area, through St. Rose into ebb and flow. Some lightning associated with that. Haven't seen any warnings associated with any of that yet. All this to say, looking at the potential for some thunderstorms this evening. I'll go into details when I come back.
Thank you, Riley.
You're welcome.
The grass isn't always greener on the other side, but sometimes it's longer, and that can cost you. We'll explain after the break. We've all seen them, yards that are a bit of a blight, unsightly, unruly, and overgrown. The war on weeds continues, and the city is telling homeowners, cut your grass or pay a fine. CBC's Matt Humphrey explains.
With recent hot and wet weather, there's been serious grass growth around Winnipeg, but let your lawn get too tall and you could get a warning.
As long as they're maintaining it, not hurting anybody, why would you care? Why would you care what someone else's lawn is doing?
On Marlena MacArthur's Wolseley Street, there are several overgrown lawns, including her own.
My next door neighbor on the other side has a garbage pile. Never complain about that. But certain people who are gardeners will complain about other people's grass.
The city's grass enforcement program is complaint-based. If a neighbor complains, the city will come out and see if your lawn is over 6 inches. You then have 8 days to cut the grass. If you still don't, the city cuts it and tax the labor cost to your property taxes. Wolseley City Councillor Cindy Gilroy thinks the bylaw could be reworked and there are bigger priorities.
Where I really want us to really put our efforts is around places that have a lot of garbage buildup. Vacant and derelict buildings. I'm seeing a lot more vacant and derelict vehicles left in yards.
Across town, Waverly West residents Dan and Leanne Granger question why the city penalizes homeowners for their lawns when the city boulevards go unmanicured for lengths of time.
It should be cut. But if they can't cut their own grass, and they're finding us to cut our grass, it's kind of double standard.
Waverly West councillor Janice Lukes says landscaping and lawn enforcement are different divisions.
One division might be out there telling residents to cut your grass, and then the city division can't even keep up with the amount of acres of grass they have to cut.
Granger also mows the city boulevard. Under the bylaw, if the boulevard is less than 20 feet wide, mowing the grass is the homeowner's responsibility.
The whole side down the street, down there is all city.
We don't cut it, they're going to fine us for not cutting their land.
But then they cut ours too short.
They say they would never report a neighbor's lawn.
Then you're going to have arguments with your neighbors if they find out you're the one that put it in. Then you're just bad.
Just causing trouble in the neighborhood.
To get ahead of complaints, last week Luke's had her staff do a patrol of lawns. She says they handed out around 70 warnings.
No system's perfect. Mow your grass. These are the bylaws.
So far this year, the city has handed out more than 600 warnings. 55 have been enforced. Matt Humphrey, CBC News, Winnipeg.
If you enjoy walking through Winnipeg's leafy streets, you're probably used to finding the odd cankerworm in your hair or on your clothes. But you may have also noticed the tiny caterpillars aren't so prevalent this year. CBC's Zubina Ahmed finds out why.
Well, they'd be throughout the canopy, all the way from the bottom up to the top.
It's the time of the year when these creepy, crawly, leafy-eating cankerworms are active. But there shouldn't be as many this year after the city finished spraying for cankerworms ahead of schedule this week. David Wade is Winnipeg's superintendent of insect control.
With the favorable weather we had this spring, we were able to start the program on time and get to the high-risk areas right away, and we had good weather for the whole treatment program. No rain delays, no weather delays.
Wade says cankerworm numbers were generally lower this year, but some neighborhoods such as River Heights and Crescentwood had more.
Obviously our spraying knocked down the population, but there's lots of trees that we can spray, and so the pest caterpillars never go away completely.
We spoke to some Winnipeggers with mixed feelings about these creatures spinning down from trees.
Last year I think there was quite a bit, but I haven't seen any this year.
And do they bother you?
Not really, no.
Oh, you don't mind having the cankerworms?
Well, if they're crawling on me maybe, but no, normally they don't bother me really.
Not really. They must be spraying.
And do you like them?
Oh, I don't like them. What are you going to do with them? That's nature.
Wade says the city will keep monitoring through the fall to see where they might have cankerworm hotspots next year. Zubina Ahmed, CBC News, Winnipeg.
Morden is closer to a solution for its wastewater woes, but the mayor says funding is still an issue. The city's current lagoon is nearing capacity and is slowing housing development. The southern Manitoba city now says it's looking to buy 80 acres near its current wastewater treatment site to expand and upgrade what's there. Mayor Nancy Penner says it would mean they can double population by 2047 to more than 20,000 people.
We're just crossing our fingers that we can move forward. And then, as I said, we'll go forward with the preliminary design work. And that can happen very quickly. So, within the next year, we could be putting this project out to tender.
Penner says the next challenge is getting another $30 million in outside funding. The feds and province are already providing about $40 million. bring Riley back in. Took the pup out for a walk this morning. It felt noticeably warmer first thing in the morning.
And you'll notice that tomorrow morning too. Actually, even warmer tomorrow morning than it was this morning in Winnipeg. That's as we see a bit of a push of warmer air in, which is fueling some of the thunderstorm development on the Saskatchewan side of the border, where we've had some of those warnings. That's where I'll start. Again, with the radar imagery that we're looking at into southeastern Saskatchewan, southwestern Manitoba, still contending with those tornado warnings down around Oxbow on the southeastern side of Saskatchewan across the border. Some of that moving onto Manitoba and kind of spreading out into Virden. Places like Roblin, Russell, likely to get a few more rounds of showers by the time the evening is out here, but the threat of tornadic activity at least diminishes as we get through the evening hours tonight. Once the sun goes down, that's when we really see that threat diminishing. A few stray showers, a few rumbles of thunder into northwestern Ontario as well through the afternoon hours, but all eyes really have been on the southwestern corner of the province and that risk of severe weather today. We'll do that again as we get into the day tomorrow, and then I've got a bit of a measurable change in pattern here as we get into the weekend with a little bit of moisture coming our way. So as we get through the evening, that threat does push out. Chance again that we maybe see a rumble of thunder in Winnipeg this evening. That chance does diminish as we get through the evening, but just be aware that it's there. Overnight into Friday morning, we do see another round of this starting to develop in the Parkland. This will push out. I did put a slight chance of showers in the forecast for Winnipeg first thing in the morning. There's a slight chance out of some of this cloud cover. Maybe you get a couple of raindrops, but nothing worth canceling plans over tomorrow. As we get into the weekend, though, that's when we really see things starting to change with some cloud building in as we get into the day on Saturday. Then comes our next area of low pressure here as we get into Saturday, bringing us some moisture onto the western side of the province. By the time we get into Sunday, this is starting to give us a bit of a more measurable rain for Westman into the Parkland, and this spreads eastward as we get throughout the day on Sunday along this cold front, which will also really drag our temperatures down as we get into the weekend as well. So a little hard to pinpoint what this means in terms of accumulation. Some of these numbers are taking into account the potential for some of that thunderstorm activity as we get through the evening, but I think in general, 10 millimeters of rain up the western side of the province. By the time we get into the day on Sunday, not all that unusual or unexpected. Probably a little bit less as we get further east, but we'll take a look at that as we get into the day tomorrow as the weekend forecast kind of shapes up here. Another risk, we could see some thunderstorms, albeit a smaller footprint tomorrow. The risk being some hail, some heavy rains and wind as we get into the southwestern corner of the province once again as we get into the afternoon hours again on Friday. So tomorrow morning, temperatures 18 degrees in Winnipeg, 16 in Brandon. We'll try for 29 tomorrow afternoon under a mix of sun and clouds. Summer starting 26 degrees in Brittany. There's those showers I was talking about into Sunday.
All right. Thank you, Riley.
You're welcome.
You're looking at a new mural in Bell Tower Plaza at Osborne and Stradbrook. This was the work of Cool Streets Winnipeg. More straight ahead. The RCMP say several hikers have been caught in a rock slide north of Lake Louise in Alberta. It happened this afternoon near Bow Glacier Falls in Banff National Park. The RCMP say the incident involves serious injuries and or multiple fatalities, but did not have exact details. Police say the area has limited cell service and reaching the remote location is difficult. Parks Canada, first responders and the RCMP are working to access the area. Temporary closures are expected along the nearby highway as emergency crews respond. Ottawa is working to set up evacuation flights for Canadians trying to flee Iran and Israel as fighting between the two countries intensifies. But with airspace closed in that region, anyone trying to fly out has to get to neighboring countries first. As Rafi Boudjikanian reports, that's a challenge of its own.
This Canadian couple was looking to make unforgettable memories in Iran. Our wedding was going to be tonight, she said. Their romantic getaway became a run for their lives. Fleeing a country at war with Israel like thousands of others, they were lucky enough to make it to Armenia. We will wait and then we will return to Iran to get married, he said. You may have to be very patient. Israel and Iran have been exchanging missile fire for a week. Airspace shut down in both. Ottawa is urging Canadians in the region to get out, booking commercial flights out of neighboring countries, Armenia or Turkey to Iran's north, Jordan to the east of Israel and the West Bank.
We came down obviously to visit family. On my wife's side, we've got a very large family here that we're very, very close with. And it's just been so long. It's been such a hard time.
This Toronto man has decided to bide his time instead. He's booked a flight back out of Israel, waiting for its airport to reopen.
We've had to take shelter many times. You get an alarm to your phone, and then about 2 minutes later, you get another one that kind of tells you what areas. And if it's in your area, you hear the siren, you got to book it to the safe room.
The federal government says it's doing all it can to help.
We strongly encourage all Canadians in the region to ensure that they are registered with Global Affairs, and I am working 24/7 around the clock to ensure that Canadian interests are protected and that they are able to leave. If they wish to stay, we are urging everyone to shelter in place.
For now, the Israeli government says it expects to reopen its airspace by next Monday, but there is no sense of how much longer hostilities could last as more than 10,000 Canadians remain in the region. Rafi Boudjikanian, CBC News, Ottawa.
Israeli health officials say more than 200 people were injured in Iranian missile attacks. Residential buildings near Tel Aviv and a hospital in southern Israel were struck overnight.
As a result of this hit, fire broke out in this building. Several wards were completely demolished, and there is extensive damage across the entire hospital, with damage to buildings, structures, windows, ceilings across the medical center.
Israel says it hit some more nuclear sites inside Iran. Days of Israeli strikes have wiped out Iran's top military command, damaged nuclear facilities, and killed hundreds of people, including civilians. In Israel, at least 24 people have been killed and hundreds wounded by Tehran's missile and drone attacks. Meantime, U.S. President Donald Trump says he'll make a decision within 2 weeks on whether to attack Iran. Prime Minister Mark Carney has announced new measures to help the industry hit hardest by President Trump's trade war. The steel and aluminum sector's calls for help are growing, including for counter tariffs. But as Ashley Burke reports, Carney says he'll only do that if there's no deal with Trump next month.
Back from talks with Donald Trump, the Prime Minister has a 30-day deadline to broker a deal, but is under pressure to act now.
The government is responding to the impact of the unjust U.S. tariffs with multiple tools.
Mark Carney announcing new tools to prop up the aluminum and steel industry, reeling from Trump's tariffs stuck at 50%. Canada's now releasing a new quota, hitting more than 60 countries.
A quota for the amount of steel that can come in from third countries to limit that amount to stabilize the market.
If there's no deal with the White House by July 21st, Carney also suggested he could hike Canada's counter tariffs against the U.S.
The fact that there's now a deadline set by the two leaders, I think, has focused the conversation. So I'm optimistic over the next 3.5 weeks that we can make some progress.
But the industry says it wants counter tariffs that match the U.S. now and is running out of time.
The context is that we are in a 50% tariff situation, which is extremely tense for our industry across North America. Basically, it's unsustainable. So 30 days at 50%, it's a long walk in the desert.
The government says it's aware there's a sense of urgency.
We know that the Canadian steel and aluminum workers are very anxious and they want us to come up with a solution really, really quickly.
Ontario's premier says the government must protect manufacturers here.
If the president doesn't come to the table, I'll give him my full support on full-out tariffs of 50% on steel. But let's see what happens.
The new program is designed to get Canadian companies to use domestic steel by making foreign imports too expensive. The Prime Minister is expected to meet with premiers tomorrow to talk about the program and the next steps. Ashley Burke, CBC News, Ottawa.
There's a huge sigh of relief after a missing Quebec toddler was found safe yesterday. But many questions remain over the 3-year-old's disappearance Sunday and whether a change in police protocol could have helped locate her sooner. Kwabena Aduro reports from Montreal.
This is the field where a missing 3-year-old girl was found alive and alone Wednesday, spotted by a police drone, just off Highway 417 near Castleman, Ontario, dehydrated but well. Sources told Radio-Canada she said she was waiting for her mother to come back. Police say finding a child alive after 4 days of intensive searching is rare.
After 3 days?
Yeah.
It's probably the first time.
We're lucky it didn't rain, so there was less chance of hypothermia. With all the mosquitoes, and there were so many ticks, so she was lucky, yeah.
The toddler had last been seen on Sunday morning in Montreal's La Salle borough. The same day, her mother reported her missing in Coteau-du-Lac, about 60 kilometers west of Montreal. Investigators widened their search Wednesday after receiving a tip that the child was spotted in Ontario.
It's the kind of case where you think, okay, more and more time's gone by, this can't end well. And sometimes, sadly, it does not end well. But yesterday, it had the best ending we could hope for.
CBC Radio-Canada tracked down the key witness who spoke to police. She didn't want to go on camera, but says that she didn't contact the police because she doesn't follow the news, and she didn't know she had information that they needed. She's still shaken by the whole situation and cried when she learned that the girl was still alive. An Amber Alert wasn't issued in this case, but could it have made a difference? Quebec Provincial Police say it didn't meet the criteria.
Right away, we didn't have an abduction. So that's the first criteria that's not there. So it's important that when we issue an Amber Alert, you need to understand it's an abduction, it's an adult that's taking a kid. This is how we want to find it, and this is how you can reach us.
Some say the criteria should be reviewed, including Amélie Lemieux. Her daughters Nora and Rami were abducted and killed by their father 5 years ago. When a 3-year-old is missing, her safety and security is compromised, she says. I would prefer to have known on Sunday. But the Sûreté de Québec says on average 9,000 children are reported missing each year.
If we were to issue an Amber Alert, that would be something that the people would take on the side and don't look at it anymore.
The investigation into what exactly happened to the girl is still ongoing. Her mother is charged with child abandonment and will be appearing in court Friday to set a date for bail hearing. Kwabena Aduro, CBC News, Montreal.
The U.S. trade war is giving the Canadian wine industry a reason to raise a glass. Homegrown vintages are seeing a boost in sales from the Buy Canadian movement. As Nisha Patel reports, for American exporters, it's a case of sour grapes.
Forget California reds, Canadian shoppers are making a switch.
Now that the American wines are off the shelves, I'm finding myself in the Ontario section a little bit more.
U.S. wine imports fell more than 90% in April as provincial governments took American products off store shelves in the face of the trade war.
Buy local is very real. We're seeing it in Nova Scotia. We're seeing it in British Columbia.
The boycott is giving Canadian producers a boost. The Liquor Control Board of Ontario says sales of wine made with Ontario grapes have jumped more than 60%.
I like seeing a little Canadian sticker on all my products now.
I think we're just more willing to put money back into our own economy.
So it's Riesling, Chardonnay, and Pinot.
That's keeping spirits high at Flat Rock Cellars, which is having one of its best sales years ever.
They've gone up, probably 30, 40, 50% over the months since the tariffs kicked in.
They released their awards.
Manager Jacob Glantz says he also expects the winery to get a boost from tourists this summer.
And they're realizing, holy moly, we actually make some really great world-class wines here in Ontario, and they might not go back.
Ontario plans to continue its ban, though Alberta and Saskatchewan say they will start selling American booze again. Wine sellers hope the change in buying behavior is permanent.
I've heard from people that, they really want to stick with local wine even after. So I think regardless of what kind of happens in the future, I don't think we're going back to the way things were.
Provincial governments are also working with Ottawa, trying to break down interprovincial trade barriers to make it easier for producers to sell their wines across the country. Nisha Patel, CBC News, Toronto.
They're the near misses caught on camera. More on the dangerous driving and what spots in Canada have it the worst. That's straight ahead. Stay with us. Many of us have likely experienced a near miss while crossing the street. Now CBC has obtained new video of these dangerous incidents happening on Canadian roads every day. Lisa Shing has more.
These dangerous close calls caught on camera happen every day at intersections across Canada, according to a new study.
Every time you walk on downtown, you're taking a big risk.
They tend to turn even when it's the signal to go for pedestrians.
Have you had any near misses at intersections?
Yes, a few times.
What was your reaction?
Like, almost peed my pants.
Now there's data to back up the anecdote. The Canadian Automobile Association commissioned a study that used cameras at 20 intersections in cities across the country, recording more than 600,000 incidents over 7 months, where a pedestrian or cyclist was almost hit. Most were cars making a right turn.
Based on the near misses that we collected, over one potentially fatal near miss per day per intersection happens here in Canada.
So you might think the more people and cars in a city, the higher the likelihood of a close call. Traffic volume is a factor, but there are bigger considerations.
It's about how we build and design our streets and the types of vehicles that we drive. Bigger vehicles are more dangerous and more likely to hurt people. They take up more space on the road.
The study recommends more dedicated left turn lanes, more advanced green lights, and allowing pedestrians to start crossing before vehicles.
These are all lights.
Then there's the human factor.
I think people are busy. Toronto's especially a very kind of bit of a rat racey city. Everyone's got somewhere to be.
Have you had any near misses with cyclist pedestrians?
I don't necessarily find that they're always careful. Like, they don't wear helmets, they don't always pay attention to stopping when they should.
The CAA hopes this kind of data will drive municipalities to make improvements faster to prevent injuries and deaths. Lisa Shing, CBC News, Toronto.
Hurricane Eric made landfall in Mexico's southern Pacific coast early Thursday. This was the scene as the Category 3 storm landed around sunrise local time. It crashed into Mexico's southern state of Oaxaca with heavy rain and winds up to 200 kilometers per hour. Officials warned some areas could see flash floods and mudslides. There's certainly no shortage of severe weather or events, from the wildfires to this, and keeping an eye on tornadoes as well.
Yeah, tornado warnings on the Saskatchewan side of the border. I was showing you that watch that was in place earlier as well on the Manitoba side of the border. As expected, some volatile weather bubbling up along the Manitoba-Saskatchewan border will take you right to satellite and radar as that system pushes to the south and east. Few more kind of north of that up toward Verdun along highway number 16 in the Russell-Binscarth area, seeing some lightning out of that as well. But this is that tornado-warned storm I was talking about a little bit earlier on the Saskatchewan side of the border. Some of that rain moving through Melita, with some lightning in some of that as well. So do expect that risk to persist as we get into the evening hours tonight. As the sun goes down, that risk will start to diminish a little bit, but can't rule out another rumble of thunder or so in the west. Even as far east as Winnipeg, we might get into some of that. Temperatures today, 27 degrees in Winnipeg, 25 for Brandon and Portage, and still pretty seasonal conditions across much of northern Manitoba, as well as we sit under this ridge here. This sets us up for a pretty nice forecast as we head into Friday for your dog walking forecast. I mean, maybe a bit warm for some, but I think Buddy won't mind. Thanks, Roxanne, for sending this picture in. You can keep sending your pups, as always, to talkback@cbc.ca. Looking at 18 degrees first thing in the morning, 29 by the afternoon tomorrow, and then some cloud cover as we get into the evening. Slight risk of a thunderstorm in Winnipeg, less of a risk than we saw today. Again, that risk tomorrow centered into that southwestern corner of the province once again as we get through the later afternoon into the evening. So some of that still continuing as we get through the night tonight across the south, 11s and 12s through southwestern Manitoba, 12 in Dauphin as well, 14 in Peguis. Chance we could see some thunderstorms albeit the further east you go, that risk diminishes through the night tonight, and single digits for much of the north as well. 9 degrees in Thompson, Gillam at 10 overnight under a partly cloudy sky. Looking at mostly sunny skies by the morning once again tomorrow. Maybe a little bit of cloud hanging around, but that's about it. But look at some of these temperatures. The Pas and OCN, 26 degrees tomorrow afternoon. 24 Norway House, Barons River at 23. Maybe a few showers along this front here as it pushes off into northwestern Ontario. 23 degrees in Shamattawa by the afternoon tomorrow. Cloudy skies to start. A little bit of instability still working its way into northwestern Ontario by the time we get into the afternoon tomorrow. Otherwise, we're looking at a very similar day, mix of sun and clouds. 26 is for much of western Manitoba. Brittany, we're looking at 29 in Winnipeg and temperatures around 25 in northwestern Ontario.
Thank you, Riley.
You're welcome.
As wildfires continue to rage around Manitoba, one national animal protection organization is calling on the province to step up. Animal Alliance of Canada says the government needs to immediately suspend the current black bear hunt in the province. Leah Lascaris is the CEO of Animal Alliance of Canada and joins me now. Thanks so much for being here, Leah.
Yes, thank you for covering this important issue.
Yeah. Leah, let's start with why you believe this needs to happen and really how the fires are playing a bigger role in hunting season this year.
Well, hibernation for bears is already a stressful time. So when they emerge from hibernation in the spring, they come out quite depleted. They're going to be immediately looking for food. And so, of course, with the forest fires, it's going to play a big role in that struggle for them. A lot of their resources are going to be quite diminished, if not completely ruined. Some of the resources like cover or den sites that they'll need for the fall when they go back into hibernation are going to be gone. These forest fires are not just impacting their food sources and their den sites. It'll also probably disorient them. They have a very excellent sense of smell, perhaps the best among some of the large mammals. And so you can imagine what that smoke is going to be doing to them. They use their sense of smell to find food. And if all they can smell is smoke, that's going to be a real problem.
Some real concerns this year. And when we talk about how many bears are killed in the hunt every year, what we seem to forget sometimes is the cubs that are left behind, and that's really important in the spring. So how many bears are actually killed during a hunt every year, and what is that impact on the cubs that are left behind?
I'm glad you asked that question. It's actually a really difficult question to answer because the reporting for hunters is tricky. For non-Canadian hunters, they're required. It's mandatory for them to report the number and the sex of the bears killed. They do this through the hunting outfit that they are legally required to hire. But for Canadian hunters and Manitobans specifically, reporting is not mandatory. The government sends out a questionnaire, but it's completely voluntary. And so the numbers that are reported compared to the number of licenses purchased is quite different. And so all we can really do is estimate. And our best estimate is that a couple of thousand bears are killed each spring, and a significant number of those will be females, and a significant portion of those will be lactating females who have cubs.
One issue that I also heard from your group being brought up was that bears can actually be baited during these spring bear hunts. So can you explain a little bit about why that's problematic, not just normally, but in a time when we see some of the landscape burning down and maybe these bears going to other areas, why baiting them is an even bigger concern?
Yes, baits are sites where foods are intentionally left out by humans. And these bait sites teach the bearers that, food is available in this location. And it's particularly concerning if you look at the regulations. They're allowed to be, they have to be not within 200 meters of a dwelling and 500 meters of a cottage subdivision or a picnic or campground on Crown land. I mean, that's not very far away. It's 200 meters from a dwelling or a road. and within half a kilometer of a picnic site, so you have people who are trying to be responsible campers and trying to clean up sites. But, when you train a bear that there could be potentially food within half a kilometer of those people, I mean, it's no wonder that there are problems sometimes. And so, why you're allowed to feed animals in a situation like hunting, but you're not allowed to feed them for, just in case you care about them. And if you think that they're at risk of dying, if you just want to, take a picture of them, it's just this hypocrisy, again, that upsets people.
Leah, thank you so much. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Still ahead, as fires threatened his hometown, this Manitoban put pen to paper, his love letter to Flin Flon. Plus, Riley is back with a last check on our forecast. You're watching CBC Winnipeg News.
Quick look at your 7-day forecast. 29 degrees on Friday, maybe a couple of showers in the morning. 26 for Saturday, first full day of summer. That brings us to Sunday with maybe some showers stretching into early Monday morning, 20 degrees. And you'll notice temperatures staying close to seasonal as we get toward the middle of next week. 24s for Wednesday and Thursday. Well, as many evacuees start to return home, or at least get set to return home, those in Flin Flon are still waiting. The situation inspired a former resident to write a song about it.
Jerry Fardo wrote "Feeling Helpless" as he watched family and friends flee the city. He lives in Edmonton now, but spoke with Marjorie Dowhouse.
Why do you love writing about Flin Flon?
It was a great place to grow up. It's a great place to live. It's I love going back there to visit. I think anybody who's from Flin Flon, it really, really touches you. There's something about the country and the water, and I don't know. It's a special place.
Now, when people hear your song, Feeling Helpless, I mean, what do you want them to think about? How do you want them to feel?
Yeah, I think, it is feeling helpless, but I also think, like at the end of the song, it's, even though the words are feeling helpless, I think it's inspiring in some ways. As awful as this situation is, and it was and is, I think it really has brought people together.
So tonight, we leave you with... Have a great night.
See ya.
There's a town in northern Manitoba, surrounded by the water and wild. Its residents 500 miles away, hoping and praying for a rainy day. It didn't care what they thought as it rampaged across